This is Sophia and the black snake, her friend, playing in this hot afternoon, and this is the part 2 and the conclusion of the story titled The Housemaid and the Water Spirit. Remember, in the part 1 of this story, Sophia the housemaid was tormenting her madam Mrs. Obed using her black snake from the water kingdom where she belonged. Now the story continues. Mrs. Obed came out with her newborn baby outside. She sat down on a bench outside playing with the baby. Suddenly something happened. The baby turned to a snake and she threw the baby away. The husband came out and carried the wounded baby, rushing to the hospital for check-up. Sophia was behind all this. Since that time, Mrs. Obed has refused to touch her baby. The following day, the husband brought the baby out for her to carry, but she ran away, telling the husband to go to work with the baby. The husband tried to make her understand that their baby was not a snake and cannot hurt anybody, but she was so afraid of coming close to the baby. As they were talking, Sophia came into the scene and opened her arms towards the baby to carry the baby. Mr. Obed handed the baby over to Sophia because he needed to go to work. At this point, the wife knew that the worst was going to happen to their baby today. Mr. Obed handed the child over to Sophia and left. Sophia turned back to look at her madam crying for her baby. She turned and walked away with the baby, while Mrs. Obed stood behind in distress. She was crying because she knew that Sophia has initiated her baby into the water spirit or kingdom. Now see Sophia in action. This was another dream from Mrs. Obed, fighting to take back her baby. Sophia and all her fellow kids from the water kingdom joined forces together to pull the baby away from the mother. They said that her first pregnancy was successfully terminated by them, but she gave birth to this one unaware to them. Now they have come to take the baby away in her dream. Now look at the scenario. In a real life, Mrs. Obed wouldn't have fought this kind of fight. Now let me tell you, it was God telling Mrs. Obed to stand her ground and fight for her baby instead of crying, but she chose to cry. Immediately she woke up from that dream, she had a confirmation of what happened in her dream. Sophia stood aside with the baby and the snake ran her neck. Mrs. Obed was so afraid that she had to run away. Luckily, Mrs. Obed ran into a preacher by the roadside and started complaining to him, begging him to come and pray for her baby. The preacher followed her. On getting into the compound, they saw Sophia seated outside on the bench with the baby. Just as the preacher was about to start praying, Mr. Obed came out and got mad with the wife and the preacher. He asked the preacher to get out of his house, that he should go and pray for his wife who has been wrongly accusing the innocent girl, Sophia. In this atmosphere, the preacher could not do anything. Then he turned and left. As he was leaving, Mrs. Obed followed him behind. Mr. Obed asked Sophia to take the baby inside. Sophia moved inside, followed by Mr. Obed. As time went by, the preacher prayed with Mrs. Obed and gave her holy water and told her to go home and stand strong with boldness in the Lord, to pray in her home that God will answer her. After talking to her, he gave her the holy water and she left. Now the fight started. Let us see if she was able to do it. Sophia has been defeated and she sneaked out of the house. Remember, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous person availeth much, and not the crying of a righteous person. If you're righteous, you must stand with boldness and pray, because whether you like it or not, you must have to take it by force. And please share this video and follow this page for more interesting videos. Share this video and don't forget, this is House of the Sons Global. Bye for now.
House of the Sons Global.